Hello, everybody. Welcome to Free Tip Friday. It is Friday, March 14th, 2025. All right, my friends, here we are. Today, let's see, so many things are going on today. Today is Pie Day, right? Should you celebrate? I think Chris and I need to make a pie today. Gluten-free, but a pie nonetheless. And 5 years ago, my friends, is when lockdown started, COVID lockdown, here in the US anyway. You remember that? It was crazy times, right? I don't know if you remember, I think the COVID times brought a lot of you here to Bead Shop, right? Because every day for I don't know how many months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, I can't remember. I did that broadcast every morning at 8:30 a.m., right? Oh, it was crazy. I'm looking for my lipstick. I feel like I need another coat, so I'm going to put it on. It was crazy, right? But what I took away from that experience, I took away a lot of things, but I took away that we could create this worldwide community, right? Which was amazing. So that was one of the good things that came out. A lot of those times brought all of us together. And we're still bringing people together, right? Right here, right around the bead table. So even 5 years later, I hope you're still getting vaccinated. I hope you're still washing your hands. I hope you're doing all of this. Janice, thank you so much for those kind words. Chris and I were the only team. It was nuts, but it was a team effort for sure. Team. It is true. Our buddy Candy Cooper, Candy was also broadcasting every morning. It was a way to really help keep all of us sane, right? Not only you folks on that side of the screen, but the folks, us here on this side of the screen as well. So 5 years in, hopefully everybody's feeling well, doing well. And we have cause to celebrate today because we're all together, right? We're all together around the bead table. So yes, and I love it, Dawn. Brothers and sisters around the world. I know, right? We're all here around the bead table doing fun things. So yeah. So that's all good things. All right. So that's enough of my little morning, I don't know. Kumbaya. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Miranda, for sure. It was, Kim, we had a lot of, I guess, fun during the pandemic. I did the Bead Olympics. We timed ourselves how many wire wraps we could do for a minute, in 5 minutes or something like that, right? It was crazy. Though, to be completely honest with you, I can't go back and look at those broadcasts. It makes me anxious. So maybe I'll have to scan them and see what we did. We did some fun projects. We did. So it was, but I'm eternally grateful for you folks. Miranda, you're getting a lot of shout outs, a lot of hellos, and a big thank you to JP on the other side of the camera or the other side of the keyboard doing some moderating. Right. My mom is watching. Many of you are watching worldwide, which is awesome. So let me add my camera in and let me tell you. So yesterday we were so busy, doing stuff, orders and new product and all kinds of things happening that I did not really get to what the heck I was going to do today until like later in the day, right? So I turn to Miranda and I say, girl, what What am I doing? So one of the things that's kind of been tossing around in my head. Oh, and hello to my pop. Hello. Good morning, Papa. Dear Papa. I love it. My family's here. And my cousin Kathleen, she watches from Lodi, which is great. A lot of my friends watch, friends from high school. I love it. It's like not only are all of you my family, but a lot of my family is also here as well. And thank you, Kathleen, for that sweet St. Patrick's Day card that you sent me in honor of our dear Aunt Betty. So take a little moment to get some family business done. But back to the project, okay? And my dad's name, Margaret, is Stan. Stan is here. So my dear Papa. I've been thinking a lot lately about earrings, right? You know how I love a say something earring. I was looking through my earring archive and I stumbled across the Opulent Duster earrings. And if you remember those, I've only made one Opulent Duster. I should grab a screenshot from that. Actually, let me do that while I'm talking to you. And I love them so much. And I haven't made them in a while. And the sad thing about the Opulent Duster earrings is I lost one. I was wearing it. I remember where I lost it too. It was when my mom and I were in Palm Springs last time, and I went to go check out this little shop, a clothing shop that I wanted to see, and I tried some things on, and I know that I lost it, I think, in that dressing room. Whatever. I can make myself another one, but so I have one. I have one of them. So here's the Opulent Duster. I don't know if you folks remember that one. It was really fun to do. Unfortunately, or, hopefully we'll be able to get those. Those are old component parts from Tiara Cast, the hammered loop that had the bail on the top. We have a lot of other hammered components. We have loops, we have the squares, we have a ton that you could substitute for those. I think I've got a couple of stashed away so I can remake this other earring. It'll be pretty easy to remake. But I thought, you know what? I need to remake it in a new, I don't know, in a kind of a new colorway, but use that same kind of technique, right? So what I did was I did this Opulent Duster that I want to show you. Oh, and I love it. My dad loves it. It's his first call out on YouTube. I love it. That's right. Well, Stan, everybody in the comments is saying hello to you, so I love it. Love, love. Let me highlight this right here so you can see this. This one is the, let me move the, see if I can get a little more bright on here. This is the one that I thought I'd change it up for the component part. So I used the teardrop like this, right? And I was thinking I would use it this way and do it here, but I wanted some interesting shape, right? So I turned it upside down, right? And so I love the way the shape went. And you can see in the, let me put this back up. I love it. Pop, I love it. You are getting so many shout outs. I love it. My dad usually watches with my mom. He watches a lot, but a little shout out today, which is great. He's the best. He's the best dad ever. Let me show you here. So see there's the component that I brick stitched around. So if you don't like all of this other business around, all of the dangles and stuff, just doing that little component part and doing the brick stitch around would make a great earring. Okay. So let me show you how I pulled this one together and, how you can kind of alter it. So let me zoom in a little bit. There you go. This is a good place for a screenshot here. It's raining today, so this picture feels dark, even though I've got all of the lights up super bright. Let me see if I can move this at all a little bit. I don't know. It's okay. It'll be all right. So I was laying this out, and Miranda gave me some great ideas on what to use bead-wise, because I was trying to figure out what we had, what I wanted to use. And Miranda's all, what about the aged check bugles? And I was like, oh, I forgot all about those. So I've used the aged check bugles in here. I'll tell you what I've used. Let me show you. Let me zoom out. Get this, zoom out just a hair. And I'll tell you the ingredients. The ingredients are also on the homepage of the website. You can see that. I put a shop the show. And after this is all done, I'll go ahead and I'll make a project for it. Okay. Let me make sure that I have not missed any of the questions. Okay. So I've used the age check bugles in the alabaster, and the alabaster actually has 3 different colors in it. And you can see, I'll point that out when we look at this earring. I kind of sorted them out, right? And these are the the aged check Picasso bugles in black. And I'll tell you, I agree with you, Sharon. Bugles are like starting to become one of my favorite beads. I just love them, especially these shorter ones, right? And look at this. Look at this aged check. It's that aged check black Picasso. It's so good, right? The teardrop hoops, thanks Janice for saying it is the 27 millimeter teardrop. I think it's a good size. We'll see when I finally add the ear wire and put them on if they're just overwhelming. But Dawn, just like you, I like my earrings to say a lot, right? And Karen, we have a ton of different frames. So we've got smaller ones. We have smaller teardrops. So you don't have to have these quite so grand, right? You can go a little smaller if you want on them. Okay. So I know it's kind of hard to see. Let me see, Helen, if I can show you. Let me see if I can focus on this. It's kind of hard to get everything. There we go. Look at that bugle. Looks good, I think. Okay. These, I just love these. So that these are they. Then I've got some seed beads, some 11-aughts. I've got the 11 42 15. Oh, whoops. Now we're really not. Hang on. Hold, please. Let me get this focused. There we go. This 42 15. All right. This one here. I've got the 457. And I've got the Duracoat Opaque Fennel, which is such a good color. And I will hold them up to show the drape. Let me finish these, and then I'll put the earring top on, and then I'll put them on so we can look at the drape. Okay? I promise I won't leave you hanging with that. So what I did to start, and we're going to do this kind of backwards, I'm going to finish the dangles on these, and then I'm going to show you how I started here. Okay, so let me show you the dangles on earrings like this always kind of confound me a little bit. I always have to start and stop and redo and stuff like that. So I really wanted this to have kind of a color block look. So if you can see from here, I did the fennel. And then the fennel went down to that metallic seafoam, then down into these darks right here, the bronze, the Picasso, the dark Picasso bugles, that green, blue, green bronze is what it is, 4mm, and then down to the aqua Celsian 3mm, and then light to finish up here. So it's a little bit kind of like an ombre, right? Which I like. So I always have trouble, like I said, trying to figure out how the heck I'm going to do the dangles, like what the layout is. So I actually strung about 3 or 4 dangles on this, and it was just wrong. It didn't look quite right, right? I had these kind of at the bottom. So I wanted to kind of play around with the proportion. I also wanted to play around with the silhouette. So what I did was, and this is a trick I've used before, and I just kind of remembered it. I'm like, how am I going to mock these up? So I actually got some, you could use head pins. I had eye pins because that's what I had to hand right here. And I started to just line up and put all of these dangles on head pins so I could see how they all work together. So I did these long ones, and then I kind of tapered up to see how it worked. And it worked, right? Pardon me. So what I also did was I strung these because I kept leaving off like one of the 11-aught seed beads on there, and it was really bumming me out, right? So since they're laid out on the head pins, I had a little bit of an easier time not mixing or not missing these 11-aughts here. Okay, so that was good. And it is kind of a monochromatic color scheme for sure. But it does have some dark and light. This ombre, I think, really goes nicely. What I also did, let me show you, and you can see that with these bugles here, and it's the bugles, the alabaster bugles that are right here. Let me move that up a bit and put these out. The alabaster, I think there's actually 3 different colors, but the kind of darker ones are really close in color, so I didn't worry about that too much. But I pulled out these lighter green Picasso right here. It's a Picasso with an alabaster coating over the top. This alabaster is that kind of sheen that's on the bead. So I used these lighter ones on the edges like this, right? And then I used these darker ones towards the center. Oh, Miyuki drops actually would have been really good to use for sure at the ends. Instead, I did a picot on the end with a very tiny, it's just a little glint of that metallic sea foam at the bottom. The drops would have been great for sure. I think what I was looking for was a really skinny silhouette at the bottom, but a drop would also look amazing, or a cube. I mean, you can do, this is really just a base for you folks to jump off and create, right? And take a look at the other Opulent duster that I did. Let me put it back up because that one's a little less, I think I used 2mm and 3mm in there for the check fire polish for those. But I used all 11-aughts, the Rocals, the rounds. So you could have them be a little thinner, right? Or a little heavier like mine. You could, have the drop go this way instead of inverted. So the technique is all the same. It just depends on how you want to lay it out. But I think laying out your fringe on the head pins or eye pins, whatever you have, I think it really helps and also speeds up your stringing. So you've kind of made the layout already, so you can just kind of get them on there. So let me show you how I do the fringe. You've seen me do this before, but let me do it again, and then I'll pop back and we'll put some brick stitch around this one. So I'm using Fireline. I'm using 4-pound in smoke, and you can see how nicely they just really blend on this component like this, right? They look really great. So I'm going to weave back through. What I did for this was I started in the center, actually, when I design dangles. I start in the center and then I work my way out, and then I come and I do the other section here. When I do this again for the second one, I can just start at the end and go all the way around because it's already planned out, right? But I love how the check fire polish, instead of being at the bottom, they kind of have a nice design throughout the inside. I could use a briolette. I could especially put a briolette here in the center. That would look great. It just depends. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in. I'm going to go through this guy here. And I've got 6 more dangles to go. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, let me show you. I have this needle that's on this side right here. I'm just going to come in. This is where I finished my last one. I'm just going to come in and weave it in, right? Weave it in. Like so. And I'm going to go through these 2, or I can just even just go through this 1. Doesn't matter, right? But I'm going to kind of turn the corner, stitch a square in here, and then I can just cut this needle away. But I wanted to show you that too. See if I can get it in there. It's a nice firm brick stitch, so you've got to kind of get it in there. I'm using the size 12 beading needle here. I'll go down to this row. Whoops, try not to catch the fringe. Like that. There we go. There it is. And then back up. Like so. There it is. And then one more time down this bead, and now I'll cut it off. Go through. There it goes. Okay. And my thread snips, I think they're sitting at the table over there. Hold on. Yep, here they are. Where I was working before. These are the Zuron thread snips that I always use for my fire line. Let's get these in. Pull the thread, clip it under tension, and that's it. Okay? So that's that. Now, let me take a bracing drink of coffee. And we'll do this other side. Okay, so I've come down. I'm in my starting position here. Now, what I do for these is I come in. I'm going to hold this. I'm going to slide these off. Hold these between my fingers. Take that off. And put my needle through. Okay, like that. And we'll do the same thing here. Hold them. And put the needle through. Now we're going to do the picot. Oops, I didn't catch that. Now we'll do the picot. Like this. And then, look, I've got this beautiful little pile of all of the beads together. Wouldn't this make a nice... We've all got mixes on the brain. Wouldn't this make a nice mix? So the picot, I've got the Duracoat fennel. I've got one of the seafoam, one fennel. So it's just that little 3-drop picot like that. Let me get in a little tighter. There we go. And then we'll send it back up this tassel leg. Okay. Just like that. Make sure you catch all the beads so you don't have a thread on the outside. You'll see I stitched through and up through that top one that's in the brick stitch. And then I come back down. And we want these to be nice and firm, not super tight so that the tassel leg, twists or whatever. But I don't want to see any thread there, so I pull it nice and tight. But not so tight that it, is, curves or gets kind of distorted. All right, so there's that one. Let's get my next group off my head pin or eye pin, go through. Same thing here. Hold them through my thumb and index finger. Get it going through and pull it down. Okay. And I double check. I still double check. Do a visual check to make sure that they match. Right? Okay. Let me see. And then I'll do my next picot. There's a Duracoat, Seafoam, Duracoat Fennel, down, then go back up the whole tassel leg. And through the bottom one in the brick stitch, up, arrange the picot so it's tight. There we go, pops into place. And hopefully, I think I'm going to have enough thread. I hope so. And one last one here. Now I did this in stages. So the shortest ones that I did, there's 3 of those tassel legs on the side. And then the next one, I did 3 more that are a little shorter. Those are these. And then I did a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the long ones. Okay, so you can decide. I thought that this, since I was doing kind of like this teardrop shape, I really wanted them to kind of graduate in length. So that's why I did it that way. But you can also make them all the same length. I did so many here, and I have this kind of large 4mm here that I kind of had to make sure that there was room for all the beads to sit nicely, right? And we'll see. When I pick them up, they kind of fall on each other a little bit, but I think it looks okay still. Let me see, just making sure that there we go. Yeah, and you can use anything, any of the seed beads on these, right? It doesn't, whatever floats your boat, right? The brick stitch, you want it to be kind of the same bead, so it sits like brick stitch, at least the same bead in the row, right? You could also brick stitch with some bugles or something here, right? Just like Emily's taught us in all of her brick stitch earrings. You can go back and take a look at all of those. We've got some great brick stitch earring designs, but use whatever you like. This is really just a jumping off point. So see, here's the 3. Here's the long ones. Here's the 3 short ones. Now we're going to go to the 3 shortest ones. Okay, so I omitted the big 4mm here, right? And I just used the 3mm that I kind of positioned here. And this long one, I did the 3 kind of further on down the tassel leg. I brought it up here on the medium-sized one, and now on the small one, I'm just doing that 3mm. Okay, so let me see if I can get all of these between my fingers. Let's see. Like that. Put the needle through. Oh, one got away. And I like the pops of metallic here. I like the contrast between the pops of the metallic. I think that works out nicely. That might be one of the things that you think about when you're creating this design, when you're doing your own design. is putting in just a pop of metallic. I think will really look nice in here. So here's the same Pico, the Duracoat Fennel, the Seafoam Metallic, and another Duracoat Fennel. And we go back up, go through everything, catching every single bead, and back up through the bottom bead in the brick. You can go up a little bit taller in the brick stitch, but I don't think there's any need to. Pull it tight so it sits nicely. Almost time, just 2 more, my friends, and then I will put it on and we'll see. We'll do the big reveal. And I think I'll have just enough thread. So we'll pick up another eye pin, put the beads between my fingers, pull the eye pin out. I think one fell, so I'll do this. And this. So there's that one. Let's put the Pico in at the bottom. 1, 2, and 3. 3. There it is. All I've been doing really is brick stitch lately. Isn't that crazy? If you know me, you know I love to string, and peyote stitch was really my seed bead stitch of choice, but brick stitch has really been taking over lately. There we go. So there's that one. Now I'm going to have just enough thread. This is ridiculous, but I'm going to do it. Here's this. I should have actually strung these upside down. It would have been easier for me to get the pin out, but come on, come out of the bead. There it goes. This first little one drops out, but I'll get it, and then I'll go through my long line of beads here, make sure I've caught everything, and I'll go here, and I'll put in the Pico, this one, and this one. We'll go back up. Have you ever had this happen? It's like you just have a tiny bit of thread, and I'm going to just weave that in for all it's worth. I'm actually going to go through that top one right there, that green. All right, being really careful not to unthread the needle. So there it is. Fix that Pico so it sits right. All right, see, look, I've got the smallest piece of frickin' thread. So let me just weave it in. Let me go to that one. Like this. There we go. And up through this one. I hope you can't hear our washing machine is on spin. And I think the door to the studio is open. So if you're hearing something, you know it's laundry day at the Dosher Richburg household. There we go. Let me kind of slide that back in. And let's go through this one right there. If I can get it, I'll go through those 2 beads. See that there? All right. Oh, thanks, Margaret. All right. Then let me go back. Oh, this is a good tip, Shannon. Shannon says to keep her fringe soft and flowy, she uses KO right here. And she's gone back up through the beads, check to see that the fringe from where, it attaches to the seed bead on the frame, so you go all the way back up there. That's a good idea too. I mean, you could certainly switch beads, or certainly switch threads here. Use Fireline for this part and KO for this part, for sure. That's a great tip as well. So let me do this. I've gone through, holding it. And let me just go back up one more time. I'll go up this bead. Oh, I think that's it. That's enough. I've woven it from all the way from the edge, so it's not going to go anywhere. Let me hold it under tension. Okay. And let's put the ear wire on here. This ear wire, I think, is big enough to just go directly onto this. So let me get my pliers, my chain nose. We're going to very carefully come in, open that loop forward. And we got all of our niobium ear wires back in, which we're all big fans of. I love this niobium ear wire. There we go. It's a little stiff. I don't love how that sits right there. So I'm going to fix that. I don't like it. But I'm going to try this on and then we'll deal with that. Okay. So let me kind of straighten this out a little bit. So you can see the drape there. Let me see. All right. Which ear do I want? Probably this one. Let's put it on. It needs a little more swingy movement though, I think. But I love it. Right? Fun. Fun. And it just kind of all comes together. But I don't like this connection right there. But let me hold it up. So you can see these kind of come down over each other, but I'm not mad at it. I like it. I really like it. It is pretty fabulous, right? I love it. So how are we going to deal with that business right there? Yeah, it needs, and the thing about a jump ring, so let me take this off and let's play around with this ear wire. You need to be careful though with the ear wires. These are pretty strong, so you can open them a few times to open and close, but I need to get this off and I need to close it up. Okay. So we need a ring that's large enough so that this kind of moves around nicely, right? But the earring, if we use a jump ring, the jump ring is going to be this way, right? In the wrong configuration. So we actually need 2 jump rings here. Okay. So this is a great time to do a screenshot. Let me lay this out and I'm going to grab some jump rings, but let me do this here so you can screenshot this sucker. There we go. That looks good. Okay. And let me grab some jump rings here. So we've got a bunch of different jump rings. We have so many jump rings here at Bead Shop. We have plain, we have textured jump rings, which I like a lot. We have ovals. I'm just looking to see what I see. I'm going to look at this one. I'm going to look at this one. And we're going to get some of those. And these. Okay, let's take a look. I'm going to use copper, and I'm going to use some of our jump rings from Nun Design. And if you don't have earrings, right, if you don't have a bunch of, a bunch of great jump rings, I suggest kind of stocking up. Now, people are saying that you can come in and turn this loop. So you could do this. I could turn it so it's facing forward. And I might actually do that. But I want to see how doing 2 jump rings will look. I slightly skewed this out of shape. See, it's not quite round. So I'm going to get my round nose plier. I'm going to fix it. I attached the top of the waterfall earrings. You know what? I don't remember, but I'm going to take a look. Oh, the waterfall. That was the, is that the one I did with the Danielle Wicks? It's still a little misshapen, but see how it's nice and round here. It's just a little off, but I'm gonna be okay with it. So yeah, I can just turn this so that this loop is forward. 100% I could. We're just gonna experiment and see what it looks like. Okay. So hang on. Let me look up this waterfall earring. I want to see what that looks like. Waterfall. Oops. Waterfall. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, I love this earring. That also would look good. I forgot about this earring. I have them. I don't know why I don't wear these. I think they're with my other, let me show you. Yeah, the I Ching coin with the 15s. You know what? I forgot all about these. These are pretty nice. It's this. Also in green. Can I stop making earrings in green? Probably not. Those are good. And see how I went around them and I stitched kind of up and around the ear wire. So that ear wire, even though it was facing sideways, it was, I kind of went through and stitched it through. That would look good too. I could stitch with seed beads right here. I need to find those and wear them. It's a good earring. I didn't add patina. I added those I Ching coins. Let me put that back up. Those are old, and we have ours that we carry. A lot of them have a great patina on them already, though you could patina them. But yeah, those are showstoppers. I like those a lot. Let me go back. Whoops. Let me take this off and let me go back here. Okay. Let me see. So I have, these are the, what size? The 9mm textured oval jump ring. One of my favorites. I need 2 pliers though to open it because these are nice and sturdy. So here we go. That oval one, really nice. That one there. Yeah, so many green earrings, right? But what are you going to do? I love green. I love green in beads. So there's that. Okay, then I've got these. These are really terrific from Nunn. These are her small, really thick jump rings. I love these a lot. Love, love, love. There's also, she's got this mini rope one that I love. It's that round one there. So I'm not sure. Let me just get a single. I'm not sure which one or ones I want to use. Okay. I'm going to start, I think I'm going to start with this rope. Put the rope on. Need to open it up just a hair more. I'm going to close it. I'm going to add this heavier one above it. Open. Slide the jump ring on and the ear wire on and close it. That doesn't look bad, that connection, right? Let me just take a look at this one. I'm just going to mock this up with just this one here. And jump rings, if you, oh, and Janice is putting the link. I'll put the link also on the homepage for all the jump rings. I'll put this on. Let's put this heavy one. This heavy one is good. That one right there. Make sure it's closed all the way. That is not closed. There we go. Into slapdash. That goes on, then this goes on. Look at that. This makes a great earring just on its own, right? Just like that, right? I could use 2 of the rope ones here. I feel like I want a big one and a small one so it doesn't add a lot of length. I still haven't gotten this closed just right. Come on, there we go. That's better. And let me turn it around. That looks nice too. Let me put this on. Okay, so I'm not distracted by that one. Yeah, movement, much better movement. I think I'm going to go with the round rope. It's a little shorter, just a little. Love. I love a Say Something earring. And they're not heavy, right? I mean, I do have tough ears. But let me get back to this one, and I'm going to show you how we start the brick stitch, okay? Because I want to show you how I just come around that point, okay? Yeah, look at that. It matches my sweater. I know, I love, the oval jump rings are so good. I might change my mind, but either will work. And you can use, we've got these, all of these components come in all of the 3 colors. We've got them in the silver, the gold, and the copper, right? They do look good with my sweater. Totally coincidental, right? All right, let's take a look. Let's go here. So to get this started, let me take this out because I have no idea. This would look good in peacock feather colors for sure. And I know you guys, I know you've got a lot of this stuff already in your stash, right? So just think about what you need to augment, right? Grab some components, right? Some hammered components. We've got also, you know, the what do I want to say, the rectangle ones. Hang on, let me grab something here real quick. Let me see if I can find it. There's that other opulent earring. I guess I could just make opulent earrings all day long, right? Here's the one that's in with the half circle. If you haven't seen this one, gosh, this is also a good one if I do say so myself. Look at how, remember this guy? Right? This one has the brick stitch like all the way around on the outside. So you could keep going up here if we wanted to gild the lily. But I really love like this plain look too. But this is that half circle. And then I just glued a gem duo in it. Yeah, this one is also pretty good if I do say so myself. This is with 8/0 rather than 11s, so it's a little bit bigger. But this would look great. This kind of thing would also look great across like this instead of doing this one. So what I would say is you can, right? I love it. Cindy, do it. Throw down those earrings, go stash diving, right? Take a look at what you've got in your stash, right? And play around with colors, you know, if you want to do something that's kind of monochromatic like I did here and do kind of like a dark to light or a light to dark ombre will look good. And then you can use your eye pins to line everything up, right? And create the fringe. So I would just get yourself a bunch of different, you know, components. There's like this one too, this dancer earring that I'm wearing. That's that round component. So whatever you like, right? And this, what I did here, and you can see these on the website, that one has it's a little hard to see, but it's a wire guard like we use with Soft Flex. Okay, and that's just stitched in right there. Okay, so let me not get too distracted. Let me take this off and let me show you how I start the brick stitch around this component. I mean, it's nothing special, right? Same old brick stitch. Same old brick stitch. But I'm going to start with that Duracoat fennel, right? Yeah, we could definitely put, especially if we're here, we could put a brio. Now I'm getting distracted again, you guys. But let me get a briolet. And we can put it. There we go. Look at this. Just look. Maybe I will do that. I don't know. I like the open silhouette though. Let me get the, how about the, I don't know, they're all good. Do we want something super bright? There's the chrysoprase. Like that. Super bright. Here's this. Maybe this is better. Aqua. That's nice, isn't it? Right. I love it. Terry says she took a non-beater to a gem show this weekend and she left with bags of beads. You were a converter. The good job. Make sure, bring her over and have her join us on our tutorials so she knows what to do with those beads. I love it. Here's a labradorite. Also looks great. So good times, right? Love it. So yeah, so that would look good. I don't know. We'll see where I end up. I need to close this box though, so I don't drop the briolets. All right. So now no more distractions. Let me get to this. Let me cut a piece of Fireline. And again, I'm using Fireline in 4-pound, and it's all on the homepage at Bead Shop. Fireline. Right there. And I'm going to come in. There we go. Needle that thread. And let me give you the count. Let me get those tools out of the way. So for this one, for the first row of brick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, is that right? I don't know. Let me count again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 around the first one. Okay. So I just started here at one end. And remember, we do kind of a ladder stitch to begin all the way around this component. So I put on, this is a 2-drop ladder stitch, so I put on 4 and I come in, I start around the side. It's a little awkward, but you know, start around the side, leave a little bit of a tail like this. And I'm going to come down, I go through the component. So they're kind of sitting side by side. I come around the component. I'm trying to stay under the camera, so I'm having trouble with this angle. So see, I come through those second 2 right there. I'll come in. I'll tighten it down, and I'll go around this one more time. Okay, so here, I'll go through that first stack and around like that. Get that little tail out of the way. It's kind of twisty. I don't want that to happen. There we go. Come on. So I'll go around, again, around this component, up that first stack, just so that everything sits nicely, right? Try not to split those threads. There it is. Tighten. So there we go. Now it's starting to sit right, right? And down. Okay. So now I'll kind of slide it up. And I need to position my thread. It needs to be coming from the top of that stack. So I'll just go through again. And now I'm ready to go. This tail I'll weave in later. All right, so let me pick up a couple more. 1, 2. These are the 11-aught. Sorry, I need to move this camera cord. Sorry about that. There we go. 2 of those. Put them on, go around the component and up through the stack. Like that. And tighten. And I'm going to kind of look at it here. That looks like about the right space. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I go 8 down. There's that 9th one in the center-ish, and then I go back up. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got to I do 8, and then I do 9 in the center, the 9th one. So I go through. Behind the component, through the component, up through the front of the component, and tighten. 1 and 2. Now again, you could do this with any size beads. I'm using size 11, but you could do this with the 11 Rocal seed beads or delicas, size 10 delicas, size 15s. That waterfall earring, I used the 15s. I think I did that right when we first got those 15s in, right? So that was probably a couple of years ago. I don't know. Seriously, have you felt like since COVID, like time just is weird now? I don't know. It's just weird. Feels so fast and so slow all at the same time. I can't quite. You know, I literally think that 2016 was like 3 years ago. And it's almost 10, which is crazy. Okay, so here's that. Let's do a count again. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I need the 8th one right here. And down. So now what I do to just kind of turn that corner, I just turn it really, right? I adjust everything so it's close to the tip here, right? And I go to, I know, I agree, V. It's like we are stuck in a weird time warp, and it's like time is standing still and flying by. It's weird. I don't know. I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels that way. So now here's the 9th one. Here's the center. Okay, like this. So that kind of sits there in the center. Then, so that's the 9th one. Now I need to do 8 up this side. So I'll just get the 2. I'll go under the component. I'll slide them up. Whoops, I caught my other earring. There we go. I slide them up and I kind of make them turn. So I'll go through like this and I'll kind of pull them to the side like that. Okay, so you just kind of put it where you want it to go, right? Like that. So now I need 7 more up the side. So let me get that Duracoat. And it looks really pretty just like this, right? You can use a couple of rows. You don't have to do any fringe if you don't want to. I think brick stitch, especially around the component parts that have a nice shape to them, is a lot of fun. Now these are going to spread out a little bit as it goes around, but you just kind of get the tension right? Like this. Good question, Margaret. I used 4-pound because 4-pound was sitting here, but I also thought that 6-pound in the fringe would be a little funny. Okay, so not a little funny, but a little heavy, right? And yeah, you could use the mixes. V, you could, get those seed bead mixes out and knock them down, right? So let's keep going. I'm going to pull this thread down a little bit like this and like this. Okay. So to wire wrap a loop, that's a great question. We could do just a simple, like little figure 8 combination, right? We could wire wrap just like a regular wire wrap. Before we wire wrap the loop closed, I'd put this component inside the loop, wire wrap it closed, and then put a bead on the top and wire wrap at the top there, right? So it would just be like a regular, nothing fancy, just a regular wire wrap, but the loop on the bottom of the wire wrap, the component would go through. I hope that makes sense, Nicole, for you there. But you could also make like a little figure 8 component, the wire coming around here and around there, right? And Janice, thanks for linking the skill builder there. So we'll bring it here. I want to get to the first one because I want to show you how I start that second row, but I'm almost there. Like that. I come through. And like this. So 2, 4, 6, 8. That's the center. 2, 4, 6. I need 2 more. 1. And this is a great way to practice your brick stitch, right? Like that. Because it doesn't take long. I've just done this right here on the live. It doesn't really take much time. 1 more. And then let's do our first row. I think the next row I just did a single of the seafoam, the metallic seafoam. Okay, so there we are. Let me make this nice and clear. All right. So here we've got this one. So I need to do the metallic seafoam next. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, let me get some of those out. For the first stitch on these, what I did was I wanted it to be all even. I didn't want to increase or decrease. So I just came in. Here's our first thread bridge. Right there in between bead stack number 1 and bead stack number 2. So for brick stitch, the first one you always put on the first 2 beads. And since I'm not decreasing, I'm going to go through this first thread bridge. If I were decreasing, I'd put it through the second thread bridge. Okay, but I'm not. I want it to be even. So see here, comes in, I go through, I make them lie down, and then I come through that second one. And our first 2 beads are nice and tight where they should be there. So now we're just going to go single. And I didn't do a 2 drop this time. I just wanted one band of the metallic. Come on. Come on. There we go. So what I think I ended up doing, this number 9 right here, when I went down 8 and then 9 was in the center, I think I had to add, because I ended up with 20 all the way around. The count is 20. It's an even number, not an odd number. And I think it's because when I turned the corner here, I had to add in an extra bead to make it look nice. So let me get there. And that's fine. I was hoping I'd have something that would be an odd count, so I'd have the fringe centered in the middle, but it honestly doesn't make any difference, really. Okay, put this one on under the next thread bridge. You keep going. You keep going around and underneath each thread bridge as it comes. So now we're starting to turn the corner, and I've got 2, 4, 6, 7. This is 8 right here. This is 9. Right here. And then 10, since this thread bridge between here and here, there's a lot of space there. You can't see it, but I'm gonna slide it in. See how there's all kinds of space between that thread bridge and that thread bridge because it turned the corner. Okay, so I'm going to fill it. So this is bead number 10. There are 2 there. And I'll do the same thing now as I lay in my 10 going up this way. So here's this. I'll come in here and I'll put 1 and then I'll put 2. And that gives me those extra beads, give me that nice curve, and I'll lay it out so you can see it. See how that gives me that nice curve around the bead as it goes. Okay, like this. And yes, exactly, V, adding 2 beads on the first thread bridge instead of 1, that makes it nice and easy so everything is lined up. So yeah, on your brick stitch, your first stitch is always the first 2 beads. So if I were doing a 2 drop, I'd put 4 beads on and have my 2 beads up here, my 2 beads coming down, so it just depends. Right? So if that makes sense. So now we just keep coming up and adding those on, and that's it. Then what I did for the next row, I did another single drop. Let me just put this last one on right here. but keep going under the corresponding thread bridge. Okay, whoops. Like that. Okay, so then here, the next one, let me focus. This next one here, there's my sea foam. Then I did the next one, it's just a single row of the bronze, single row. And then to make it all blend, because I wanted it a nice heavy band of the bronze, I did the first 2 seed beads in the fringe were the same. So it looks like it's a 3-drop, but it's actually a single of the bronze here and 2 to start the fringe, if that makes sense. But you can stop at any time, right? Like if you just like this component and then you put this ear wire on the top, if fringe isn't your jam, you could definitely do that, right? Here's another good screenshot. Let me zoom out just a hair. Make sure it's nice and focused for you. There you go. This looks good, right? So that, my darlings, is it. I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun. And V, thank you so much. You know, we've kind of started this new thing on our live broadcasts, and I don't want you in any way to feel obligated like you need to, leave a tip for us. But I did start the coffee tip jar on our broadcasts because we do this all free of charge, right? We do all of our education. It's all free. We have almost 1,000 broadcasts on here, right? On our YouTube channel. And so let me start by saying you can find all of our YouTube, right? All of our tutorials right here on our YouTube channel. We'd love it if you hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. That is certainly enough for us. We so appreciate you being here and a part of our bead family. You can also hit us up on Facebook, The Bead Table. We'd love to see you there. We would love for you to hit us up with a tag or a shout out at beadshop.com on our Instagram. We've got a ton of stuff over on our Pinterest. You can repin our Pinterest ideas from our Pinterest page. And if you have any questions, give us a shout out over at info@beadshop.com. Let me go over here though, and I'm going to grab our link to our coffee page. And if you are so inclined, and again, no pressure, my friends, but you can find it there. If you're moved to, great. If you see a broadcast that you particularly love and it particularly resonated, thank you so much. We super appreciate you. If not, there's other ways to help. Share out our broadcast. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification button and share our content with other beaders that you might love. That's also super, super meaningful to us. Your support of our small business, my friends, we really appreciate it, because without you folks there, I mean, we've been in business since 1982. We're a small woman-owned business. We've always been scrappy. We're going to keep being scrappy, right? So we really appreciate your support. And thank you, my friends, those really kind words about our broadcasts and during that dark time of COVID. It was rough, and things still seem to be kind of rough out there, right? But we're doing our best. We're beading and creating through all times, through glad times, through hard times, through all of it. We are here to create, and it's soothing. right? And I will try, Christine, and pin it. We'll also put the link for our tip jar. We'll put it down below in the description as well. I think it's in there already, but I'll make sure it's there. Okay. It's also on our YouTube page. It's right above the About Me. So it's all there. JP, I want you to have a fantastic retreat next week. Janice and her daughter Ashley are going on a yoga retreat, which is excellent. We'll have our Ellen here. Ellen will be moderating, right, next week while Janice does her downward dogs and her, her warrior poses and stuff. It's going to be awesome. Check in on the newsletter this weekend, my friends. I've got some things that if I have time today, I'm going to drop there. I think I'm going to do a stitch in tomorrow because I've got some ideas in my head that I need to get out. We'll see. Stay tuned to the newsletters. It's all going to be in the newsletters. I write those newsletters out to you. So that's the best way to communicate. So that's it, my friends. Have a fantastic weekend. We appreciate you. Thanks for your kind words today on this broadcast. And I'll see you next week. Tomorrow on Saturday Stitch In, but I'll see you next week for another Bead Shop Live. Thanks so much, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.